Fast, small, light, and ICS build quality. This is the Dagger. The Dagger comes in two different configurations. You got the MOSFET version, we also got the SSS version. Now mine is the SSS version, and maybe we're gonna start with show the differences between the two models. And let's start on the outside of the Dagger. Now the biggest difference on the outside, that is the stock. On the SSS version you got the ergonomic ERGO stock from ICS, and on the other one, on the MOSFET version, you have the MTR stock. That's the one that I have on my Captain. That looks like this. Now I'm personally more a fan of this style of stock, but I use this, and this stock is very ergonomic or comfortable. And the huge advantage of this ERGO stock is that you have a huge battery compartment on the back of the stock where you can store almost any LiPo battery or different type of battery that you want to use. Now besides the stock, there is also a difference on the tube, the stock tube, buffer tube. Yeah, the buffer tube thingy. On the SSS version, that's a metal one, and on the MOSFET version, it is a plastic one. And that is the only difference they have on the outside. Now to see the difference between the two models, you have a small engravement of the SSS gearbox in the upper receiver, and that's the only thing that you can see besides of the stock. Well, you can change the stock out, you can see the difference between the two models. And then we go to the inside of the rifle, and then before we even start open up the gearbox, we can see a small difference. Now on the SSS gearbox, you have the Titan DIN plugs, and on the MOSFET version, you have the normal DIN plugs. Now, I don't really know the difference between the two, except the Titan is a little bit more fancy, but they do the same thing. I have been using the normal red ones for years, and I actually don't see a big difference on both plugs. But it's awesome to see that they switched to DINs and all their rifles come with DIN plugs. And then we can go to the gearbox itself, where most changes will appear between the two models. The SSS gearbox has been upgraded with Master Mods parts, and the normal MOSFET version has just the normal, which are already very good ICS parts in it. And it starts with the MOSFET itself, and in this rifle it's the third version of the SSS MOSFET, which has grown a big bit from the first SSS MOSFET that I got. And that includes a smart trigger and pre-cocking function, and it makes the Dagger very, very snappy. And besides the MOSFET itself, it has upgraded internal parts in the gearbox that has been changed to the master mods. The cylinder head, the piston head, the full steel teeth piston, the air nozzle, and the Hop Tensioner Nub is all upgraded by master mod. And also the motor is the Evo 1. It has a 35,000 RPS or RPM I think it is. RPS would be very, very fast. A 35,000 RPM motor, which is also different than on the MOSFET version. Oh, before I forget, you can go in burst mode with the SSS version 3 gearbox. With the previous ones you couldn't, with this one you can switch it up. And that are all the differences that there are between the rifles. And now we can go over the rifle again, and all the things that I will say are the same for the MOSFET or the SSS version. Now we start on the front, and that is the flash hider, which I don't like because it's a plastic one, and I just took it off and I placed a tracer unit on it because I'm gonna use this in CQB. And behind the flash hider or the tracer unit, you have your M-LOK rail, which is polymer. But damn, this is really good polymer. I remember the days when you had plastic and you fell with it and it broke. This will not break. This is a very sturdy plastic polymer. It's a kind of plastic, right? It has M-LOK and it has wrist rail on the top, so you can mount a lot of accessories on it. It's a short rail, so you can't mount that much accessories on it, but it is for CQB, so it needs to be a little bit shorter. Now with the M-LOK rail and the polymer body and the polymer stock and all the polymer parts, this is a very light rifle. Now it's not the lightest that I've ever had, but it's still around 2 kilos, a little bit over 2 kilos. Now it is an all polymer rifle, but it doesn't feel like a polymer rifle. If I give this to a friend, he will immediately start looking, is this polymer or is this a metal one? And actually I had the same thing when I first got it. So this is really, it's really sturdy. It's not the normal plastic, like I said, from back in the days. This is very good plastic, polymer, sorry. And most of the weight is coming from the gearbox, and we all know that ICS has the amazing version 2 split gearbox, and this is the same thing in those two rifles. You get your version 2 split gearbox, which is amazing to work on and super easy to change stuff on. There is no tension in the gearbox, and that's one of the reasons why I love ICS version 2 gearboxes. It's so easy to work on. So keep in mind, yes, the outside is not expensive as the other rifles, but the internals are the same internals as you get with any other ICS rifle, like my UK1 Captain or another version 2 gearbox rifle. And even though you have your upper gearbox that you can take out easily, it still has the quick detach system where you can like super easily change your spring if you need to, change your spring if you go to different events, different fields, different countries. So that is a big plus on making it more easy to work on an ICS rifle. Now, one feature that I like that it's back on the original place where I found it in the first ones is that your forward assist releases your spring tension if you have been playing for a whole day. Now on the previous models like the UK1 Captain, if I switch to safe, it automatically released the tension of my spring. Now I switched to safe between shots. If I move to another location, it has been a habit to me, and that made that every time that I did that, my spring got released and I need to tension my spring again for the next shot, which is not ideal. I want to choose the moment when I do that, and with the forward assist I can release the tension on my spring whenever I want to do it. On the top of the rifle you have your Polymer flip-up sights. I don't use them, but they are on there as a backup. If the battery from my red dot dies, I can put this in my backpack and I can switch over to my flip-up sights. And those are all the features of this rifle. It is an amazing CQB rifle. Usually when I make videos, I just make a video about the features and then I go over it a year later. Now I didn't make the video when I got it and went over the features, so I'm combining the video into one. I've been using this for a couple of months now and I'm loving it. It is doing an amazing job. I take it to every CQB game when I got the chance to take it out because it really does a trick and I just love it. And I noticed that I say that a lot about the ICS rifles, but for some reason when I got a rifle, I start to learn to play with that rifle. And the more I play with it, the more I love it, the more I adapt my style to the rifle itself. And that's very important, that it might not fit your style at first, but you adapt your style to the rifle. And that's the reason why I start loving all the rifles that I use, because you adapt your style to the thing that you're using. Another reason why I do this after a few months playing with it, well, it's 6 months or 8 months that I've been using this one, is that I didn't change anything. And even a year after I've started using it, I will not change anything because I love it the way it is. It needs to be simple and I love this configuration. So the only thing that I changed is I added a red dot sight and I added a tracer unit. That's it. All the rest is just stock. I take it out of the box, start using it in CQB. That's it. And even the ERGO stock that I was not a big fan of on this, like, I don't like how it looks with this clunk of stock on it. I like the more MTR stock. It's a little bit more finessed. This one is, I like more the MTR stock. But as soon as I put this to my shoulder, this feels so comfortable. And I got used to it. And with the big battery space, it is an amazing stock to have. I don't have trouble anymore with my wires. I have a little bit more trouble with the MTR stock to get my battery in there. With this, no worries at all. Now the only thing that bothered me a little bit on this rifle is that the stock has some kind of wobble. Now I fixed this with having some duct tape on the stock to make it a little bit thicker, and then the wobble is as good as gone, and that makes the big difference for me. Now I have the same stock on my Mars 2, and there I don't have any wobble at all. So I don't know where the tolerances are a little bit off, but with a little bit of tape, the problem is fixed. Now to sum up, you can pick up the MOSFET version for about 270 euros, and you can pick up the SSS version for about 375 euros, which is a big difference. So I advise you, if you want to tinker on your rifle and you want to put your own MOSFET in it and you want to rip stuff up, get the MOSFET version, because then you can play around. You still got all the quality parts, the ICS Split Gearbox, the body, that is perfectly fine to use whatever you want in it. And if you don't want to do that, you can buy the SSS version and it will do the perfect thing for you if you don't want to change anything on your rifle. If you just want to take it out of the box and you want to go play with it, then the SSS version is the way to go. Which doesn't mean that the MOSFET version will not do the trick when you go and take it out to a CQB field or whatever. I've been running no MOSFET rifles forever, and I'm still using rifles with no MOSFET, no electronics in it, and it's still doing fine. But if you play CQB, there is a lot of single shot and your contacts will wear out a little bit faster. So then even with the MOSFET version, you have your MOSFET protecting your contacts. So even the MOSFET version will do perfectly fine if you just want to use it the way it is. Now, and this will be my CQB rifle for quite a few months now, because I've gotten really fond of this one. And except if I don't use this one, I want to switch over to my shotgun. But if I want to use an AEG, I'm going to use this one, because it's a beast in CQB. I love it, and it has been doing the trick for a few months now. Now, I have a video upcoming with the Mars 2. This one I already told you a few things about it. It has the same stock, but this is my outdoor rifle and has been my outdoor rifle for a few months. And I must say, it kind of feels like cheating using this rifle. It has, well, I'm not going to in too much detail. The video is coming soon and you can find it on my channel. If you don't want to miss it, consider subscribing so you get all my videos in your feed. And if you want a notification, just click that bell thingy and you get a notification in your corner or whatever with the new videos that are coming. No, that are already there. And with this shameless plug of my own channel, I wish you a very good evening or day or whenever you watch this video, and I hope I see you next week for a new video. Bye!